Hi, it's Taz. I'm back again. I've done a slightly different video today because I had so much media and stuff, so I've tried to give it a go. So tell me what you think, and if you prefer the original format, I'll go back to sticking my mug in more of the shots. But anyway, I'm covering the points of why I personally get wound up by Meghan Markle and the negative impacts that I've seen in the public eye that have turned me against her. And it's, as I said, it's just my opinion, each their own. But just, yeah, let me know what you think, and just comment below if you've got anything else you'd like to add to the mix. First reason of why I'm not a fan of Meghan. When Harry and Meghan first started dating, no one really knew. There were a few snippets that appeared in magazines, a few sort of set up pap shots. I personally believe it was Meghan doing this to get extra attention. But when that wasn't working, then there was a few Instagram shots, namely this being one of the most famous ones with the spoon in bananas. She does like a banana, does our Megs. Anyway, a few hours later, this story then comes out. Everyone knows who she is, which is, absolutely fine. I can't think who could have possibly ever, told the press about this relationship. Anyway, a few weeks later, Prince Harry is now telling the world to leave them alone. He wants privacy. His girlfriend's being harassed. She's being stalked. Privacy, privacy, privacy. Sorry, I don't believe that story to be true. Anywho, he obviously clearly didn't tell Meghan he wanted a private relationship, because a few months later, she's got her mug all over Vanity Fair magazine telling the world how she's bagged her prince. Obviously didn't care about being boastful at this point in her career. And I found it a bit cheeky, really. 1 minute, leave her alone, but it's okay for her to talk about it. Tactics that Meghan often attacks people for, but does herself. So rumours started coming out about this point that Meghan actually wasn't as nice a person as we were led to initially believe. There were arguments coming out that she'd argued with the Queen's staff and the Queen had to tell her to treat people nicer. And that was a Egggate scandal. There were also stories that came out that she'd upset Catherine by speaking very rudely towards the nanny, Maria, while she was chasing around the Cambridge children. I mean, I can't really see how Meghan could really ever judge. She's not exactly Jo Frost, is she? Plus the fact Meghan can't even keep hold of one nanny. She's now on her third in as matter of many weeks, which I just find bizarre, but she's not very good at keeping staff. Then obviously she upset Catherine yet again. No wonder William's not fond of her, to do with Charlotte's dress fitting. I dread to think what happened there, but quite clearly Meghan's diva qualities are shining through. The biggest negative story to come out was the Tiaragate scandal. Everyone had said that the Queen herself had to put Meghan and Harry in their places. She was after an emerald tiara. Rumours has it was the Vladimir tiara. I don't think so. I personally think she was after Princess Eugenie's tiara. But given that Princess Eugenie had to give up everything else, I can see why the Queen said no. Eugenie and Jack had to move their engagement announcement because Harry was a senior royal, so they were allowed to come out with it first. Then Meghan and Harry chose the exact same venue that Jack and Eugenie had their eye on. And then Meghan turns up in a maternity coat to her wedding, sparking speculation. I mean, I don't know, was this a flipping your finger up at the Queen because she didn't get the tiara that she wanted? Either way, it wasn't very nice behaviour to try and steal the bride's thunder on her wedding day. Then we have all of the stuff that came out with Thomas Markle, and I don't know, I feel sorry for him, to be honest with you. He's been treated like the axe murderer. He's been thrown to the wolves. Harry never met him. Charles never spoke to him. I just find it very sad because she quite clearly praised her dad her entire career, right up until she met Harry. Sorry, but I think there's something very wrong there. And I really don't know how she didn't want to speak to him or try and resolve it, or even just try and keep it out of the media when he was big and begging live on national TV. I mean, I found that really upsetting, and it put people off her because people found her to be cold, to be mercenary, that you can tell the world how much you love your father and then cut him off like he doesn't exist the next day. It's just cruel and it's cold. But I also think he doesn't fit her current image. Now that she's got a taste of this different life, Thomas Markle doesn't fit in, and she got the future king to walk her down the aisle. I watched the wedding. It wasn't personally my cup of tea. I found her veil to be extremely over the top. The white dress, the veil pulled over her face like she was some blushing 17-year-old virgin bride. I found it a bit hypocritical, really, considering it was her second stroke third marriage. She looked more like a crazy Miss Havisham to me. She had a manic serial killer grin walking up the aisle. She barely blinked. She, to me, didn't look like someone that would be nervous. And who couldn't be nervous in that situation? All those people, all those strangers, not one single member of her family apart from her mother. Creepy. Then we had the Australian baby bump tour, because let's face it, that's all it was. Despite the fact that it was a premature announcement for a pregnancy, she was no bigger than a lima bean stage pregnancy, but that did not stop her cupping her bump at every opportunity, to the point I reckon she's had to have physio on her wrist. She's bending her back, sticking her bump out so far, anyone would think she was about 7 months pregnant at this time. Yet the next day, the stomach would magically deflate, but she still had the cupped hand. Very, very strange behaviour. My favourite picture of her being pregnant is when she looked like she was trying to steal a basketball. She continued with the kind of like showy, flashy behaviour all the way through the pregnancy, and then Archie was born. Well, that was just drama. They wouldn't show us Archie, then we'd get Archie's foot, a picture of Archie's head. Then we had the photo call, which I found very odd. Meghan looked more pregnant here than she did about the entire pregnancy. They wouldn't show us Archie's face, despite the photographer at the photo call asking several times. I just found the whole thing very odd. The secrecy surrounding the birth, the hospitals, the doctor's signatures. It's just very bizarre behaviour. But I do think it was done on purpose. It's like reverse psychology, a media PR trick, because now you've got more interest. And I think it's done for financials. And it just I don't like the way it makes the couple come across, especially the fact that they were dipping £2.4 million and counting to renovate their gifted home to them. Sorry, but they're both rich in their own right. Why couldn't they afford to do that themselves? I think it's in poor taste. You won't share any of your life with the public like everyone else has done, but then you're quite happy to dip into the sort of like the public taxpayers' pot. It's rude and it's upsetting people. Another one, Meghan's need to be centre of attention. She will constantly go out of her way to plant herself into the middle. I'll give you a perfect scenario. This is a YouTube video, so you know I'm not making it up. Harry's talking to a few people. Meghan gets twitchy, and then she butts in and cuts across everyone. Look at the guy's reaction that was talking to Harry. Looks back at the camera. Bang, she's right in the middle of it. She's centre of attention. Harry's pushed the back. She's shut him up. It's quite, controlling behaviour, I see. And it's not the first time that she's done it. And I don't think it's a case of being a feminist. I think it's just plain rude, personally. This one, Harry actually gets an elbow to the stomach so she can get in there first. It's very bizarre behaviour. The Commonwealth Church service, he was not allowed to speak to Grace. He was pulled away. Again, there's a little bit of video footage here to show it. I think this might have been a jealous reaction, though, because earlier Grace had waved while she was singing at Harry, and he just gets a death stare. I think he might have got in trouble by blushing and looking that little bit coy, so I think he had his ears chewed off later on that day. Meghan definitely loves being the centre of attention, so with this constant hypocrisy of them wanting privacy, it's only when it suits her. Look at Wimbledon fiasco. She wanted all the seats cleared around her, okay, so the camera had a good view of her, and it was just the way she behaved. She was like a complete diva. It was just a massive ego trip. I thought the optics looked terrible. I think it was really in poor taste for any royal to behave. I just think this is the real Meghan, the snippets that we see when she doesn't realise the camera's on her. And I just don't think that she's that nice a person. She's definitely a diva. I think she puts Mariah Carey to shame, but at least Mariah Carey earned her status. And it's the real flip side, because we see this shy Meghan, sweet Meghan, Harry pulling her up on stage because she's gone all coy. This is not a woman who's coy. Look at the smug grin on her face. She knows exactly what she's doing. She plays to the crowd. She plays to everyone. This sweet Meghan. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, the huggy Meghan. And then you have the flip side again. Look at her at the polo. She was quite clearly pissed off about something here. She was not a happy bunny, and she didn't want to interact with the Cambridges at all. She didn't even interact with the kids, despite them wanting to meet Archie. The only person she interacted with was the cameraman, because whenever he caught her, you can literally see her looking direct down the camera lens as per normal. Look at the smirk. It drives me insane. I won't go into any more on the private jet. I think there's been enough coverage on that, but let's just say it's been a bitter pill for people to swallow. It's the hypocrisy. And then on top of this, You've had Meghan's ridiculously expensive wardrobe. She's spent more money since she's joined the royal family on clothing than any other royal queens, princesses, everything, all across the whole of Europe, not just the UK. And her attitude seems to be not wasting time or energy. So not wasting time or energy on the private jet row or the spending row. And I just think this is part of your undoing. If you actually paid more attention to the optics and to what the public think and feel, if you'd have done this months ago and actually tried to change the perception of the way that you're coming across, the hypocrisy, if they'd actually tried to do this, or generally just after a big clangor just gone, oh, do you know what, Harry's speech on WE Day when he managed to offend like 90% of the country, just hold your hands up and go, oh, I made a boo-boo, I made an error, but there's nothing like that from them, because they're just an endless string of clangers. And I suppose people, they're transfixed on it because they're just waiting to see what the hell happens next. Anyway, that's my thoughts on this video. If you like my video, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I'll speak to you soon. All right then, guys, bye.